Welcome to a brand new podcast. And as always, this is Oracle 19. And my name is Mr. Greatness. If you have a business and you want to put it on this platform for us to promote, you can email us at evolutionoflondon@gmail.com or the Oracle 19 at the oracle19radio.com. We can help you in terms of increasing your visibility online. We have generated video producers that can have videos, business videos for yourself, for your business, in general for your brand. So you can email us, as I mentioned, evolutionoflondon@gmail.com or the Oracle 19 Radio at the Oracle 19 at the oracle19radio.com. So just to give you a heads up with that. And if you want to donate as we expand worldwide, you can email us via, or you could pay us through PayPal. That's evolutionoflondon@gmail.com. Definitely will appreciate your free will offering. We have different links to other affiliates, www.linktree.com/Evolution of London. And we do have a Patreon channel, which we have videos, digital artwork, and consulting services as well. www.patreon.com/Evolution of London. You can shop online to our baby shopping mall, which is evolution.com. We have a whole wide range of products: men's, kids, ladies' clothes, jewelry, cologne, perfume, house products, and much more. So that's evolutionoflondon.com. Also, check us out at evolutionoflondon.org, O-R-G, for custom clothes, accessories, and digital products as well, for business as well as personal use. EBooks, very, very great, very good information. Highly recommend that, of course. And finally, evolutionoflondon.store. evolutionoflondon.store for custom clothes, games, DVDs, and much more. So that's www.evolutionoflondon.store. Check out the company Royalty 9 International. They make homemade candles, 100% soy wax, 12-ounce jars from scented to unscented. Now the scented candles are from frankincense, myrrh, jasmine, eucalyptus, rose, just to name a few. Now, you will find them also on Instagram and TikTok, Royalty 9 International. Definitely can support their luxury candles. Over 35 plus burning hours. Again, Royalty 9 International. Mr. Will, he's a fitness consultant. Been a fitness consultant for over 15 years. So if you want to book a consultation, you can email him. Health Fitness Consultant 1@gmail.com. That's Health Fitness Consultant 1@gmail.com. And support his merch, www.wjaccessories.com for custom clothes, accessories, and digital products as well. DJ Panthro, he's an international DJ, and if you want to book for him to come to your venue, email him djpanthro519@gmail.com. That's DJ Panthro, Panthro, 519@gmail.com. He's on YouTube, and on his YouTube page, DJ Panthro 519 is his link to his website. So like, subscribe, and share to DJ Panthro 519 on YouTube. You'll find him on Instagram and TikTok, The Real DJ Panthro. Again, that's The Real DJ Panthro on TikTok. Again, DJ Panthro. Music. Cheap Limousine channel on YouTube. You have a whole wide range of different beats. So once you go to his YouTube channel, like, subscribe, and share to Cheap Limousine channel on YouTube, and follow his other social media sites. And continue to change on YouTube is the Greatness 19 channel. That's our educational channel. To open up your third eye. Again, like, subscribe, and share the Cheap Limousine channel on YouTube, as well as Mr. Evolution of London. That's our health and wellness channel. Kenzo Gang, formerly known as Kenzo World, but it's Kenzo Gang for your Afro beats. Look for his single Adora, as well as his album Discovery, on YouTube and other social media platforms such as Google, Apple, Amazon Music, YouTube, of course, just to name a few. And if you want the book for him to come to your venue, email him at morekenzo@gmail.com. That's more, MOORKEENZO@gmail.com, for any questions, concerns, or again, if you want to have him at your venue. Very good Afro beats music. Again, Kenzo Gang. Now, the Oracle 19 is on all major platforms. We're on iHeartRadio, Google, Apple, Spotify for creators, Amazon Music, just to name a few. So any information I haven't mentioned would be in the description box of the Oracle 19 podcast, the Greatness 19 channel, Mr. Evolution of London. Both of those on YouTube, of course. Rumble.com. Just type in the Oracle 19. And finally, www.theoracle19radio.com. All right, well, I'm not going to have a long show about this. Long meaning like an hour, hour and a half. I doubt that. But I'm going to let the spirit move me. The art of resolving conflict. You must, as a person, stay calm and confident, not get yourself worked up, because people could take you there, as we know, with their attitudes, their negativity, and things that can be said to you or about you can be triggering, and they can, definitely cause a situation. Now, I'm not a professional with this, but just giving you my perspective. Now, you'll find conflict in your everyday life, whether it's relationships, work, family, or business. And sometimes, unresolved conflict can lead to mental health and bad relationships in any level. But the importance of staying calm is very important. And I know sometimes, like in terms of business, when I'm doing business with people, some people, and you might get this, some people is very ignorant. you try to talk to them, and then immediately they try to over talk you. And then they give you try to say, well, listen, you should do X, Y, and Z. Well, why? I'm doing it this way. You don't understand. I'm doing this way. And you trying to convey the information to them like, well, okay, listen, I just want you to hear me out. Well, what do you mean I have to hear you out? What do you mean? Well, you know what? You didn't even let me get there yet. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't understand. Because you didn't let me even start with the conversation. Well, this is the way I do it. I don't know. What do you mean? So they all over the place. So how would you be able to handle that situation? Will you just want to scream and try to out talk them? Now y'all both screaming and nobody's really understanding each other, and which could lead to a fight, a physical fight? Or would you just, you know what? Sometimes I just let them go and talk, and then I say, "Are you finished? Right? Are you? I want you to get everything out, and are you finished talking?" Well, yeah. Okay, then let me speak. And then if I start speaking, sometimes people still jump in the conversation and say, "You know what? You're not letting me talk." So you know what? Until you get everything out open, you must hear me talk. Sometimes you have to convey certain information to people in a calm manner. And one of the biggest problems you'll find this type of behavior is when you're doing business with people or at your work. Because a lot of times, well, you know what? I shouldn't even say that, because in relationships, men and women, it's just could be a shouting match. Nobody's listening to each other. It could be an everyday uh, work relationship. So it's not only just two things. It could be in a lot of different things. So I stand corrected. But resolving is, you definitely have to stay calm and convey the information to the people and tell them the importance of, you have to listen. You have to hear me out. And if people is just, let's start with in a business aspect, and they just don't want to listen to you, sometimes you have to remove yourself from the situation. Again, stress kills. Now, I'm going to try to break it down to the best of my ability, each situation. Like, let's start with continuing on the business. That could be challenging because it could be at a business that you have and you dealing with a client, or it could be business in terms of work, at your work, where you have a group of different people you have to work among every day. Either way, the point is trying to stay calm, and you hear the person out, but you have to discipline that person verbally in a calm manner that they must hear you out. It goes both ways. Now, at the workplace, if it can't be resolved, that's why you have HR. Hopefully, you don't have to go there, but that's why they have HR, to settle disputes if necessary, among other things. Supervisor versus employee, or employee versus employee. Or it could be supervisor versus supervisor. But you always need a mediator if necessary. But resolving conflict can be very simple. But again, I'm always going to state the key is staying calm, unemotional, and you have to try to put aside your ego. because that's one of the greatest things with us humans is our egos kick in, and I'm one of them. You know, my ego could kick in, and I'm not trying to hear nothing. But as time goes along, I get older, and a lot of times with conflict, it's always miscommunication or the emotions or misunderstanding, and people have different values. Always leads to conflict, especially when you're talking about religion or politics. That's why it's very important in the workplace you don't get into religion or politics, because that will be a cesspool to an argument or physical confrontation when you get into religion and politics. So those things you should not talk about. Even if you doing business, if you have your own business, don't get into religion or politics, because that could lead to a big argument. Save that when you get in at your own home, because if at the very least you can govern your own home. But if you're doing business, whether it's your own business or the workplace, that can lead to termination, especially at the workplace when you get into religion and politics. And prefaces, like prefaces, one, what you feel about homosexuality, that can lead to termination because your opinion can, is infringing on the person, whether they are homosexual or not, or their belief system towards that, or religion, Muslim or Jew, or politics, whether you voted for Trump or Biden. These things can lead to arguments. So stay away from those topics, and that will eliminate 70% of your problem in terms of getting into any conflict. Again, especially at the workplace. And also if you have your own business, because you have clients, you're trying to make money, and your religious beliefs or political beliefs can destroy your business. So this is the art of resolving conflict in a sense of not even getting into any conflict. What causes conflicts? And I touched on that: miscommunication and people's egos and different values, misunderstandings. So try to eliminate even getting into that, or just not even trying to get into that space. That can lead to 70% of your problem. And I'm just rehashing that over and over so you can really understand it and process it, because so many people fall into that trap they get into, and it leads to big arguments, physical fights, something you could clearly have avoided. Now there are differences between healthy conflicts or unhealthy conflicts. The unhealthy conflicts, you have healthy conflicts could be just debates. Debates were back and forth, and after you finish, you still could be friends, or you could still just say, okay, cool. For example, if you talk about sports, my team in football is the New York Giants. I have friends of mine that's Dallas Cowboy fans. We had debates in terms of who's better, or who's a better quarterback, who's a better running back. We just back and forth. And back in the days, we can talk about this, like, especially Sundays and after the football game, when we was all like teenagers, and so forth. And we watch the football game, and after the football game, we play a little touch football, and then next thing you know, we sitting down and having outside the neighborhood park debates over who's a who's a better quarterback, and literally from like 5:30 in the evening, and this is in the fall, we could have debates until like around 10, 11 o'clock at night outside, and people in the neighborhood telling us, keep our voice down because we arguing about who's a better quarterback. Literally 5 hours straight. It's been times, homeboys in my own neighborhood, we having debates for literally 5, 6, 7 hours. We be arguing from 5:30 in the morning. It's been times 5:30 in the evening, and we like 1 o'clock in the morning going back and forth, critiquing which team is better and why, and talking about it was just back and forth. Literally, if it's a group of us, if it's like 5, 6 of us, that type of thing, we vibe. But it's no harm, no foul, because after we finish talking, we go back, we go home. It'd be Sunday anyway, and we got to start our day, our normal routine, Monday to Friday, of course. But that Sunday, we talking. So that's like healthy conflict. Now, unhealthy conflict, you have a debate and it could lead to a murder, death, kill, which you find in the news. People at a club and go to a club and you step on someone's shoes, you apologize. They say, well, why you stepped on my shoes, my $100 shoes? You ain't see me, you ain't see me in back of you, dummy. Somebody replying with that, and then you like, why it gotta be like that? Why you gotta call me a dummy? Well, you must be a dummy. You don't know where you walking. You walk backwards and stepped on my shoes. You dummy. Now already that person's on the 100, and then you reply, I ain't no dummy. You a dummy. And then now it's escalating, and you at the club. The person that initially said the word dummy, he pulls out his gun, and then he eliminates the other party. Now the person that got his shoe stepped on is now doing 10 to 20 years off of a murder. Now that's an unhealthy conflict and totally unnecessary. Now, I've been in those scenes where it's a tight room and people is partying and people push you and stuff, not on purpose, and sometimes on purpose, because people is drunk or whatever. Sometimes you got to take that L. Now, if you stepped on a person's shoes and they getting all rah-rah with you, or just hostile, and you apologize and they still talking nonsense, you at the club, sometimes you could just take that L and just say, yo, pardon me, you just and just walk away from the situation. That's deflecting the conflict, potential conflict. Now, if you keep going with it, that's what could happen. You could be eliminated off of what? Stepping on another person's shoe. Or sometimes it could be the other way around. People step on your shoe. You might want to say something, but sometimes not even worth it. You just keep it moving. That's avoiding conflict on a different angle. You have to look at the logical aspect of things. I just wanted to give you those examples. Hopefully that makes sense. And that goes along with the best solution, as I pointed out to. Taking the best solution for a better situation overall. So it's very important to stay calm. And sometimes when you find yourself getting upset, taking deep breaths and just pausing. And it's very powerful if you listen. And that goes back to when you're dealing with a person that's already irate. Listening to the person, because in hindsight, that person, other person might be right and you wrong. And at the moment, I know I'm right. I know I'm right. It's been times that I swore up and down that this person's retarded. Not retarded, tarded, especially in business. And then after listening to them, then I started understanding their perspective and the reason why they're saying what they're saying. Then I'm like, oh, okay. But at that moment, I'm like, this person's a idiot, real idiot. And in reality, if I reacted to it and said, you know what, you're an idiot for thinking this way, now it's escalating. The conversation is no longer a conversation, it's a screaming match between two people. Sometimes you got to fall back and just the power of listening to the other party, and then you can get a better understanding. Very important. And anywhere you at, work, relationships, well, especially a husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend relationship, just listen. Sometimes I gotta take a deep breath when I'm like, this person's a real jackass. That's in my head. But I'll be like, okay. In my head, or sometimes just take a deep breath and pause and stare at them. And just to get an understanding. And try to recognize what triggers you, personal triggers. It gets into religion or politics. And sometimes you have to manage your emotions by just maybe telling a person, can we just change the topic? It's all right, we could change the topic, not talk about this, because this is going to be triggering. Now, if the person is a logical person, they're going to hear it out and move on. If they're a jerk about it and don't want to move on, then sometimes you have to remove from their presence. And it goes on to what is also called active listening. Active listening, looking at the person in their eyes and asking them to confirm what they're saying so you can have a better understanding. Conversing with them. Body language plays a key role. And I'm trying to slow it down so you can let the information sink in. So I'm trying to break things down step by step to the best of my ability. Body language also plays a role in communication as well. So you have to know that. You have to know and you have to understand the other party and analyze their body language as well. That could tell you a lot if the conversation is going to escalate or not. You find it getting mad, you could just look in their eyes. You look at their facial expressions. That could tell you that their hands, little things. So these are some of the main strategies when you, overall, workplace conflicts, relationship, marriage conflicts, friendship, social circles, many different places where you could have conflict. But each area of life, there's always a resolution. Always keep that in mind. There's always a resolution to conflict. Sometimes you got to walk away. Sometimes you have to hear the person out. Sometimes to interject what you have to say respectfully. But there's always a resolution for conflict. If you stay calm, try to be analytical. Now all people is that way, but the key is staying calm. You can deflect, I would say, 90% of these situations. 10%, you might just have to walk away. 10 to 20%, you might literally have to walk away from the scene to avoid a physical confrontation. But approach it with an open mind and a willingness to understand, and that can help you throughout your journey. Thank you for listening.